Listen, Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. I know it's kind of weird here. I don't know what's going on. When you turn the noise gate up, sometimes when you get outside, it doesn't translate right. So I was trying this setting, and I don't know. Let me see the other setting. I could use this one, but it looks a little quiet. But maybe I'll use it because there's less weirdness in it. But I'm going to maybe bump it up a notch. When it gets windy, it just really loses it. Hopefully that's loud enough for what I'm going to do here. And if it's not, I'll fix it in the morning. So a woman needed a jump start. Guy gave her a jump start when it's from his truck. I was, if you need me, I have a little jump start kit. So he called me over, and I, looked at the battery water. That's the first thing you're supposed to look at. But admittedly, he was drinking, so things happen. So I looked, and it was below. It was at least a half, if not below. So I knew that was the problem. But I explained to her that I don't know if putting water in will fix it, because if the acid is stuck to the plates, then you'd have to charge it all night. It's like the old school fix. But pretty much you're probably going to need a battery at some point soon, even if this works. But it didn't work. And she only drove about 5 minutes. If she maybe drove an hour, it might have worked. At speed on the highway or something like that. So, in the morning, I'm going to jump start it because the other guy's got to go to work early, like 6. But she's a black woman. I told her this is the hate. This is how it manifests. Because otherwise, the next step up would have been if there's a little less hate, the battery would have went while you were at home, because she's out of town on work. I don't know the story completely, but this is where she works, not where she lives. So she's going to work on getting that all done tomorrow at her work. See if they can, help her get that somewhere to get fixed. But what happened is, not even thinking about it, you could just hear the curses coming off of her. She had been cursed so hard that it was just, one thing after another, full stream of almost profanity, profane speaking against her, that type of thing, racism. So I could hear those. I healed her a little bit. So that Range Rover, I just wanted to clarify. The guy with the Range Rover, or gal, whatever it is, I think it's a guy, but whoever it is, that person's actually cursed also. So that's the strange part. Because, when we look at in Texas, the immigrants, the immigrant becomes a mass shooter. The immigrants become the victim of the mass shooter. They're both cursed. They're both possessed. One's possessed to the victim, and the other one's possessed to be the shooter. So you have to heal those people to fix it. Now, you're going to come up against certain organizations that want them to commit those crimes, the ones that, curse them or to be victims of those crimes. And it may be your police department. So your police department may actually harass you while you're praying for them and healing them. You may not notice it, but you may notice it now because I told you about it. That's how Earth, I hate to call this planet Earth, that's the way this planet works. But it doesn't work. It's, corrupt, so it's hit or miss. Again, Paul said that the gifts would all fail. And nobody can pray that wants it to happen. If you want immigrants to look like criminals, then you can't fix that. That's why it's very important not just to say the words. Again, you can't say Jesus if 50 times and expect it to work if you're a devil. That's pretty much how it's been going. You can't heal something that you want to happen. You can't say God's will instead of yours, because you can have that emotion where you want it to happen and then protect yourself from it if your heart actually gives it to God, if your heart actually says God's will instead of yours. But most people, that I've seen, they're just, the scam, the church scam, religion scam. It's funny. Politicians and religions both have donation scams. Now, some of them are real, but it's funny when you go to religions, it's just like politicians. It's the same thing. I'm not pointing to one religion without pointing to another. So that's a strange bedfellows too, Cops get into it a little bit, but they're not as thick. Maybe they get their palms greased a different way. So if you heal them, hopefully that it just might move into another group of people. Well, again, this is how it always works. You have the up and the down. Now, what people will say, well, you're down because God is punishing you, or you're down because you didn't do the right thing. And that's bullshit. I mean, it could happen, but usually it's the other way around. You're doing the right thing, and they down you. I mean, look, they crucified Jesus. So the curses have a level of anti-power, and you have a level of intrinsic power protecting you from that anti-power. And again, that includes God, that includes people that love you, that includes the amount of money you have. That's the way it works on this planet. You have people that hate you, people that hate your race, people hate that you do a podcast, all sorts of stuff. So when your intrinsic protection goes down below the level of that curse as anti-power, then it starts taking you over. So if we heal it the right way, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go to another community unless they get downed, which might find it easier to down somebody else. Again, they might be picking and choosing who they're going to down. And if they get some pushback, then they might move in a different direction. So it could shift them into another race or another group of people or whatever it is. But again, that's how they feel good. If they harm people metaphysically, psychologically, that's how they feel good. What are they doing? Cleaning the road over there? Are they going to work? What is that? I guess it's cleaning the shoulder, the inner shoulder. Cleaning the inner shoulder of the highway. That's a good idea. People pull into even police pull into that median. I think it's a shoulder. Or is that I can't remember how that road is structured. So again, that's how it works. So of course, when the politics points to a certain group of people to curse, they'll curse them. I saw a video on YouTube. I guess I tweeted it. Oh, no, I didn't. It was Trump, the big victim. Big victim Trump. So unfair. Just because you're a rich guy, Trump. So again, the way out of that personally is say thy will, not my will. I love God too much to ever move my will against God, even if I said it. So I'm out here for a short while. I just wanted to see how this setting works. I kind of hear the noise gate clicking in the background, but it may not manifest online because there's a second noise gate that I don't monitor. So it is what it is. Again, being outside is very difficult to record. Again, the lavaliers are great for that, but they get a little thin sounding. So this is a good alternative. It's an XLR, but it's actually a mini. It's not a mini XLR, but it's like a mini XLR. It's for a like a cardio class. That's what it's primarily. Actually, this one isn't for the cardio class. That's the other one that's waterproof or something. This one is the step above that one. Like I said, drummers use. A lot of times you'll see drummers speak about drummers that are like singers. They'll speak about these SM35 microphones all the time because it gives them a better quality. But again, they're not outside, but there's a crowd and things like that. I think that's what affects this one the most as far as, you know, having any level of instability within this microphone is the wind. And again, it handles it. It's just, you know, when you adjust the sound a certain way, and the noise gate a certain way, it gets a little funky. So this is more sensitive. Where I use the lavalier, it's not so sensitive, more focused at where it is, and you get a better noise control, but then you lose some of the space and volume of the sound. I think it's the allergies. People are getting real weird. In my life, I never know because people get paid to do all sorts of crazy stuff. But a lot of times during allergy season, I brought this up before, a lot of people get weird. But then they go, okay, so you're saying that it's a curse, Larry, but now you're saying it's allergies. Yes, but if they're not cursed, then their allergies would get taken care of, and it wouldn't happen like that. People have no clue how like normal people live, like Trump and all these people in power. It isn't only Trump. It's even people making $100,000 a year have no clue what's happening in the world to the other people and really could care less because they're just so enamored with themselves. Even people who do charity are enamored with themselves. That's why it never fixes, because they need that outlet of how wonderful they are. So Jesus did have the answer, but again, as soon as Jesus uttered it, Satan was attempting to skew it and make it, null and void. So again, the real work of Jesus is salvation. So that means that when you leave the planet, as shitty as it is, as shit as it can be, you're going to have salvation. Where's Popo? Where's Popo? That way? I can't tell. Oh, there's Popo. Hey, Popo. Oh, no, it's Ambo. Yeah, I got a hospital over here. One that we need to heal. I can't remember. Regional or something? I can't even remember the name. United Health Regional or something. So again, I sent the message to Brownsville that we need to heal people on the street. I don't mind prayer, but it seems so like, and I hate to say like, the widow at the church, she spends so many hours a day praying. I mean, it just seems kind of like, milk instead of strong meat. I mean, when you heal somebody and you take that command and, in faith you're healing. And it's a lot easier. Like, God does not expect you to drive around in a police car and go, dear Heavenly, although I've done it before, law enforcement vehicle, but you can deal Heavenly Father and go through the whole thing. Right. Pray unceasingly while you're on patrol. That doesn't work, right? So what you do is God gave you something very easy. That's to say healed. Remember, Jesus is very intelligent. He said, no matter what he said what he said. Again, that's the interesting part about Jesus. No matter what Jesus said, he said what he said. Because what he said is different than what he said. And even said he says things different than what he says because you, having ears, you hear not. Having eyes, you hear not. Or you see not. And that's actually a part of seeing is hearing. Because seeing is, having the seven eyes of God, that kind of thing. It includes actually 5 senses of a spiritual nature. So you could just say healed. Because what did Jesus tell you? Your Father knows what you want. I said, don't be repetitive about it. I just say God's name 3 times and say healed. And it comes down to this. If God says you heal people by saying icky, icky, boo, then say icky, icky, boo. That's just the way it is. And there's reasons for that. God has changed. God has changed everything at times because people fell out of favor. So God changed it. So God says, say icky, icky, boo, say icky, icky, boo. That simple. So if they let you in Satan's club, then your church probably has power. I don't mind these big churches, but I know when I know what you're up to, it's disgusting. They're like temples to Satan and gluttony. Glad to hear those people back there. It started with its hand. Is a black guy with a white girl, and you're alone. Oh my God. I mean, this is what's on people. And see, that guy in that Range Rover may have heard something like that, or may have got that thought. Again, things that I hear are sometimes just thoughts in people's heads. They can't hear it. And of course, I also sense things instead of hearing it. But I know that there's something there, it's metaphysical causing it. It could be God. If it's, if honorable, it's God. If it's not, it's probably, the devil's demons, antichrist, witches, and sorcerers, which could be anybody. Which could be anybody. And they love it. They sit inside and they curse people and talk to them, in their face. But don't even let it out. They're inside. I like this person like I like them. All right. What I got going on here? I guess I got to walk somewhere. I need a massage. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get one, especially on my legs. That's where they messed up. Should have tried massaging my legs instead of my back. But they're cursing me. I mean, I wouldn't even had it happen if they didn't act out physically. I could beat their curses. I just couldn't beat their spycraft criminal operations out of government. If government wasn't behind it, nobody would do it. I don't even think they do it for the money, most people. It just wouldn't be safe. They act like, oh, Larry's getting him. So I don't get myself in trouble. You pay money to people to do it. And that's how it works. No, there is no why. Other than you're all crazy maniac criminals. Trying to read the license plate, see if there's anything new here. It's like the newspaper. But I got to get out walking. I got to drop weight. I'm kind of heavy. But this will work. And my shoes are beat up, and I'm able to walk in them. I used to have to, every 6 months at least, like clockwork, change my shoes. So So I'm healing to a certain degree, but I still have a lot of pain. So hopefully I get off of this hole, out of this hole here. I mean, y'all messed it up. I could have been out here in a couple of months, got place to place, and you made the call, and the place no longer exists. And see, it isn't only, and they know how it works, because they're devils. It isn't only that they took it away, but once they take it away, then nothing else works. So again, those are how they power the physical movements are how they power the metaphysical spells. The more physical things they do for Satan, the more metaphysical evil ability they give them, or Satan gives them. So that's how they balance it. And again, that's how they gay people and all that stuff, by doing those physical things. And they say, well, you know, it's a disruption technology to gay people. Totally illegal, disruption technology. And we make trans out of people. It's disruption technology because they're so dangerous. They have to be tracked. I mean, this is real. This is what your government's like, man. And don't point to the liberals. You conservatives are some of the biggest gayers on earth because you're so down on it. Whatever you're down on, you want to make somebody. Makes you all feel important, right? You'll be feeling important in hell, believe me. And all it takes is your will. Look, Satan tried to recruit me via a Republican somebody big. I don't know who it was. Well, if I use my will for Satan, then all of a sudden they'll give me money. Yeah, it's probably true. So those allergens aren't quite out as much tonight. A long day here in Long Dayville. A moment of silence for all the people you all killed in the name of the deep state criminal devil horde. And believe me, Trump's deep state. He runs his own deep state cells. I don't know. She could have did it because of that, but she doesn't strike me. What's that woman's name? The Trump trial right now. I can't remember her name. She doesn't strike me as somebody that would do that. Now, people are weird, but she doesn't strike me as somebody that would just go after Trump for the sake of going after him. Because I know what it's like to have things done to you and you just let it go, and then one day you wake up and go, oh my God. And Trump has that metaphysical projection where that could occur. And she may have been operated. He may have sent people out to skew her mind in another direction. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.